The domestic sovereignty script, the corporate world is staging a mass exodus, not from offices, from efficacy. While Fortune 500 companies spend billions on engagement consultants and retention strategies, there's a parallel economy emerging, one that operates from kitchen counters, nursery corners, and the 30 minutes after bedtime. It's not visible on CNBC. It doesn't ring the opening bell, but it's quietly outperforming the traditional labor market in one critical metric: return on autonomy. You already know this. You feel it every time you decline another opportunity that would require you to lease your attention to someone else's vision. Every time you realize that the real luxury isn't a corner office, it's sovereignty over your Tuesday afternoon. The question isn't whether the home has economic potential. The question is whether you're treating it like the strategic asset it already is. Let's discuss what's actually happening in January. The digital economy doesn't observe calendar resets, but human psychology does. And where psychology shifts, capital flows. Every January, 230 million people simultaneously decide they want a different version of themselves. They want discipline, clarity, health, structure. This is not a trend. This is predictable demand. And here's what most people miss. The new year isn't valuable because of resolutions. It's valuable because of resolution adjacency, the entire ecosystem of needs that orbit around transformation. When someone decides to change their body, they don't just need a workout plan. They need accountability, architecture, nutritional frameworks, habits, scaffolding, identity reinforcement, and they need it delivered in a way that doesn't require them to leave their domestic H. This is where you hold an unfair advantage. Because you've already built the most powerful business moat in existence. High trust, low overhead operations. You're not renting commercial space. You're not commuting. You're not managing a team with competing priorities. You are adjacent to your life, which means you can be adjacent to your work without fracture. I need to introduce you to a concept we use in private equity: the nest asset. Traditional assets depreciate or require constant maintenance. Real estate needs repairs. Stocks need monitoring. Physical inventory needs warehousing. But a digital nest asset operates differently. It's a piece of intellectual capital that, 1. You build once, 2. Exists independently of your physical presence, 3. Generates value while you're in another room, 4. Scales without proportional time investment. Examples: a digital course, a membership framework, a template library, a curated toolkit. The architecture is simple. Input phase, concentrated creation, 3090 hours deployment phase. Strategic launch aligned with demand cycles, harvest phase, automated delivery while you're making breakfast. But here's the sophistication most people miss. The value isn't in the information. Information is free. The value is in curation, sequencing, and emotional infrastructure. Anyone can Google meal prep ideas, but only you can deliver it inside a framework that addresses the decision fatigue of a mother at 6 p.m. The shame spiral when the plan fails by Wednesday. The identity conflict between health-conscious and realistic. This is what I mean when I say soft power is strategic leverage. The corporate world calls this empathy. We call it precision targeting. Let me clarify something that gets misunderstood. When I say soft power, I'm not referring to gentleness. I'm referring to the invisible architecture of influence that operates beneath transactional relationships. Hard power says, buy this product. Soft power says, I see the version of you that you're trying to become. Let me show you the bridge. This is not manipulation. This is resonance engineering. And it's why women, specifically mothers, are uniquely positioned to dominate the digital economy over the next decade. Because you've spent years developing the exact skill set that AI cannot replicate: contextual intelligence. You know that the right answer changes based on the child, the day, the energy level. Patience under ambiguity. You've learned to make decisions with incomplete data. Loyalty architecture. You've built relationships where the ROI isn't immediate, it's compounding. The corporate model is built on extraction. Get the output, minimize the cost. The domestic model is built on cultivation. Invest in the soil, trust the season. And in a digital economy where attention is the scarcest resource, the person who can cultivate trust without demanding it wins. Now let's talk about capital expenditure. You wouldn't expect a surgeon to operate with dull instruments. You wouldn't ask a Formula One team to race on worn tires. Yet somehow, we've normalized the idea that you should build your domestic economy from a cluttered desk, interrupted workflow, and the mental residue of 17 unfinished tasks. This is not sustainable. It's not even rational. If you're treating your home as a business headquarters, which you should, then you need to invest in the infrastructure that signals to your brain. The operator is now online. I'm going to recommend one specific tool, and I need you to hear it as CAPEX, not indulgence. A dedicated audio environment. Not speakers, not earbuds. Noise-canceling headphones that create an acoustic perimeter around your attention. Here's why this matters. When you put them on, you're not just blocking sound, you're creating a sanctuary switch, a physical ritual that tells your nervous system, we're transitioning into focused work. This is the same principle luxury hotels use with their lobbies. The moment you walk through the doors, the acoustics change. The light shifts. Your body knows, this is a different jurisdiction. You need that same architecture in your living room. I use the Sony WH-100XM5, but the brand isn't the point. The principle is, you are investing in the signal that your work has the same importance as any boardroom meeting. Because it does. Let me leave you with this reframe. The noise of your children in the background is not evidence that you're doing this wrong. It's evidence that you're building something permanent. The corporate model offers you a paycheck. The domestic sovereignty model offers you generational optionality. Your daughter isn't watching you work from home. She's watching you architect a life where your value isn't leased by the hour. Your son isn't interrupting your productivity. He's learning that a mother's attention can be divided without being diminished. This is not about making money. This is about building a system where your presence is the highest leverage asset in the room. And in January, when 230 million people are searching for a better version of themselves, you have the infrastructure, the insight, and the adjacency to meet them exactly where they are. Not from a glass tower, from your kitchen table. The empire was never out there. It was always here. Legal disclaimer. This content is for educational and informational purposes only and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments.